Information Literacy, Module 5.1, Critical Information Literacy. An information problem arises when a discrepancy occurs between information needed to answer a question and information already known. There are two questions on the slide. Although you may have an opinion and perhaps even a few facts about one or both of these topics, it is likely that you will need more information in order to construct an informed response to either. Before you move any further along in the slides, take about 15 minutes to search for some information online that will help you develop a response to one of the questions. In their article, How Students Evaluate Information and Sources When Searching the World Wide Web for Information, 2009, Amber Wollraven, Saskia Brand-Grewal, and Henny Bashruzen report that students rarely evaluate the results of their online searches or check the validity of their information sources. This is concerning, particularly as information becomes more easily accessible online. In this module, we focus on developing and using critical information literacy skills. We begin with the question: what kind of criteria did you use in the activity you just did when evaluating sources and information while searching the World Wide Web for information on missing children or Kyoto? Before you go any further, pause the slides and make a list of the strategies you use to check the validity, accuracy, and relevance of your online information search. Be prepared to post your strategies online. There are some criteria we can use to evaluate online information to ensure that our sources are valid, accurate, relevant, thorough, and reliable. These criteria are listed on the slide as authority, accuracy, objectivity, currency, and coverage. We will examine each one of these categories separately and consider which questions we can use to help guide our evaluation of online material, particularly websites. This evaluation criteria has been further developed by Susan Beck, the Production Development Coordinator at New Mexico State University Library. We will be using the website at the link on the slide later in this segment. Another orientation to deconstructing a website is provided by MediaSmarts, who have developed the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, why, and 1H, how, of cyberspace. This resource is geared towards secondary school students. However, it is quite applicable to anyone who wants to become a more critical user of online information. For the purposes of the next 5 slides, we have blended the two approaches, taking the best from each. As the word suggests, authority deals with the authorship or the who of the website. A number of critical questions can be asked when trying to determine whether the author or creator of the website is credible or able to speak with any kind of authority on the topic. Is there an author? Is the page signed? Is the author qualified? An expert? Is there a sponsor of the website? If so, are they reputable? Is the sponsor of the page reputable? How reputable? One way to determine this is to look for a header or footer showing affiliation. Sometimes the domain will give you important information. Learn to read a URL, a Uniform Resource Locator. For example, What does the URL under the title tell us about the website? Is there a link to information about the author or sponsor? If the page includes neither a signature nor indicates a sponsor, is there any way to determine its origin? Is information about the author or organization clearly stated? Are there any links to in-depth information about the author or organization? Can you contact the company or author through a real-world postal address or phone number? Can you confirm that the company or author is a credible, authoritative source of information? Can you verify the authority of any of the site's content that is attributed to other sources? Anyone can publish anything on the web. An author or organization should be able to stand behind their material, so be cautious if this information is not included, and if it is, dig deeper by searching the author or organization further. You have probably heard your former teachers or professors lament that students too often use Wikipedia as a quick source of information. We will tackle the Wikipedia idol in the next slide, but part of the problem with using online sources rather than traditional print sources is that web resources rarely have editors or fact checkers. Currently, no web standards exist to ensure accuracy, and obviously, you need your information to be accurate and error-free. How can we know whether the information on a site is accurate or not? Ask yourself the questions on the slide and think about how you might verify information you've found on a website. If you read through the 5 pillars of Wikipedia, available online at the URL on the slide, you will learn, or perhaps you already know, that Wikipedia is an encyclopedia that aims to offer introductory information to its users as a beginning point so they can find more detailed sources on the topic through initial references. It claims to be neutral by providing multiple perspectives on a topic, and its existence relies on the principle of collective intelligence. That is, anyone can use, edit, or create information entries. If you read something on Wikipedia that you think is questionable, whether you dispute the accuracy or the neutrality of the information, or feel that the material requires citations, you can place a banner called a cleanup banner on the article to indicate that there might be a problem. This is one way that Wikipedia tries to create and maintain accuracy. A good way to verify the validity of a Wikipedia article is to look at its rating. Each article is given a rating that you can see if you go to the Talk tab at the top of the page. You will see a page like the one on the slide based on a search for child soldiers. The ratings are based on the evaluation of Wikipedia users, who are most often involved in assessment teams dealing with a particular topic. The rating tells you about how complete and reliable the article is. In this case, each of the articles related to military use of children are rated C, which means that they are reasonably complete, but with some major issues outstanding, such as gaps or incomplete sources. Determining the difference between fact, opinion, and bias is the topic of the next segment. Sometimes, even often, a website can become a soapbox for someone who wants to express a certain point of view. When this is done passionately or emotionally, it is easy to spot the lack of neutrality. However, sometimes it's more difficult to detect bias if it is subtle. Is the information biased in any way? First of all, consider the purpose of the website. Is it designed to persuade the user in some way? Is there any advertising on the page? If so, what is being sold and what is the target audience for the product being sold? How is the information presented? Does the site rely on loaded language or broad, unsubstantiated statements? Is emotion used as a means of persuasion? Does the site offer more than one viewpoint? Are there links to other alternative viewpoints? When you're doing any kind of search, one of the things you have to consider is how important it is that the information be right up to date. If you're doing research on a historical topic, it might be fine to use information written 5, even 10 years ago. But if you're doing research on a new innovation, the information has to be very current. Is the page dated? If so, what does the date refer to? For example, it may indicate when the material was first written, when the material was first placed on the web, or when the material was last revised. How current are the links? Have some expired or moved? Is a reference date provided to show when the material was put online or when it was last updated? Finally, coverage refers to how thorough the information is. Frequently, it's difficult to determine the extent of coverage of a topic from a web page. The page may or may not include links to other web pages or print references. Questions to consider include: what topics are covered? What does this page offer that is not found elsewhere? What is its intrinsic value? How in-depth is the material? Does the site clearly state the topics that it intends to address? Does it follow through on the information it has promised? Does the information seem complete? Consistent? Does the website offer a list of further in-depth resources or links to such resources? And what's the copyright status of material found on the site? Sometimes web information is just for fun or created as a hoax, as we will see at the beginning of the next segment. Let's put your new skills to the test. Go to the evaluation criteria at the first link on the slide. Work your way through some of the links included at the site. When you feel ready, go to the second link on the slide and select one of the topics: smoking and tobacco, AIDS, U.S. immigration, drugs, hormones, and human tissues. There are at least 2 broken links in these examples, but there is enough information there to practice your evaluation skills. Have fun and be prepared to share your observations with your class during the tutorial session this week. Your first course assignment requires you to apply the critical information literacy skills you have developed throughout the course so far. You need to select a topic of personal interest to you and locate 3 sources based on that topic. 1, an article published in a popular magazine. 1, an article in a referred scholarly journal. 1, a website. Write a 1,500-word paper in which you analyze and compare the 3 sources in terms of the language used, the evidence presented for claims, the qualifications of the author, and the purpose of the source. Be sure to consider the authority, accuracy, objectivity, currency, and coverage criteria. This is an opportunity for you to synthesize your learning based on the 5 modules of the course. This assignment is worth 30% of your final grade and is an individual effort. A rubric for the assignment will be posted online and discussed in the tutorial session.